Investing in the Cyprus real estate market has been very lucrative the past few years. For example, Paphos, the city where I'm living in, increases 2 digits year over year, and analysts only expect further growth in the upcoming months and years. Cyprus has a lot of benefits for property investors, but there are some very important things that you definitely need to know before you're purchasing a property here, so definitely make sure to watch this video until the very end so you don't end up losing your hard-earned money. Hey everybody, it's Rico, and in this video I'm going to talk about investment properties here in Cyprus. I still remember about 4 years ago when I actually moved to Cyprus, I was already looking into the real estate market, and I was amazed by how many great deals you can find here on the island. I remember a friend of mine who bought a seafront bungalow for less than 100,000 euros. Another friend bought a very big house here in Paphos next to the harbor for less than 200,000. And yes, it's definitely much harder to find such great deals these days, but it's still possible. I regularly see properties that have the potential for 5, 6, 7, even 10% yield or more, if you find the right property and if you have the right business plan. And here I can only say location, 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 because in Cyprus location is definitely the key. You could rent out an apartment with cockroaches in the Limassol marina, much easier than a big mansion somewhere in the mountains. Because everyone wants to be at the Limassol marina and you can remove the cockroaches. Not everyone wants to live on top of the mountain because it's an hour from the next kiosk. And this is what I mean with a good business plan, because factors like these actually affect the ROI of the property. And yes, it of course also depends on the property that you're actually buying, but I made a separate video talking about how to find the best properties here in Cyprus. Definitely check that out. Especially residential real estate is currently increasing so much in popularity here in Cyprus, and there are many reasons for that. The most obvious one is that more and more people are actually moving to Cyprus, the demand increases and thus the prices of the properties increase as well. People have difficulties in their own countries such as Ukraine, Lebanon, Russia, Belarusians, and this is why a lot of these people are moving to Cyprus. We have a lot of Israelis moving to Cyprus at the moment, and we also have Central Europeans moving to Cyprus from, let's say, Germany, Sweden, people like me that just want to live on an island with a great climate and a relatively good tax scheme. Thus, we have increasing rental prices, we have a lot of construction sites everywhere, we have new universities and schools opening, new businesses, restaurants, cafes, this and that. But no, I'm not here to tell you that prices will go up forever, because no one really knows. But I'm here to tell you my experiences of living in Cyprus for 4 years now and being in the real estate market and observing it with some very big eyes. And a lot of people call the Cyprus real estate market a bubble. And yeah, maybe. Also here, no one really knows. And a bubble doesn't have to pop tomorrow. A bubble can go on for centuries. And I don't have any bad feelings growing with the bubble. And anyways, we are talking about physical properties, not some super highly volatile, risky investment. A lot of the people that move to Cyprus and buy properties here, they are quite wealthy, and they of course want to make the best out of their investment and have the highest ROI. So it's currently very common that buildings get bought off by new investors and then the tenants actually have to pay double the rent. Why? Because the rental income is a key factor for determining the price value of a property. And in Cyprus there are no strict rules when it comes to maximum rent increases, and so the private landlords here in Cyprus, they basically charge whatever they want, whenever they want from the tenants. And investors are willing to pay much more for a property if they know that they can actually increase the rental prices. This is how you make quick money. You buy a property, you increase the rental prices, and the property is worth much more. A lot of investors even turn their property into short-term rentals because the yield generated there is much higher, especially during summer. For example, from June to September, you're guaranteed to be fully booked out every single night, if you have a good location. In general, here in Cyprus you have so many benefits, advantages, chances and possibilities, and I talk exactly about that on my channel, so definitely make sure to subscribe. Some of the best opportunities with investment properties here in Cyprus are: 1. You buy a piece of land, you create an off-plan and you already sell the properties off-plan without even constructing it. Or you develop the property yourself and you will rent it out. 2. You do a fix and flip. You buy a house, you fix it, you renovate it, and you sell it for a higher price. 3 is holiday lets, so you buy a property specifically for short-term rentals because tourists are willing to pay much more for a night than a long-term tenant. You can do an Airbnb or you can do a private short-term rental. 4 is the opposite, and that is long-term rent, which is much less headache but lower yield, and then you can also decide on either low budget, mid-class or high-class luxury rentals. Number 5 is basically all the other things that you can do, let's say commercial real estate, let's say homes for retired people, and even like student homes, because we have a lot of new universities coming to Cyprus. Something very interesting that I'm observing for quite some time now is that the local Cypriots, they are actually not even able to pay most of the rent anymore, and so what they are doing is they move to villages far away from the city center so they are able to afford the rental prices. Because if you look at the average local salaries here in Cyprus, you will realize that it's much less than rental prices in Paphos, Limassol and Larnaca. And this actually leads me to the next point, and that is buying a resale house or developing a new property. Because of the lack of rental properties here in Cyprus, it is actually very interesting to build new properties as an investor. And another very big reason why it's super interesting for investors to build your own property or buy a new property from a developer is the 5% VAT rule. Every new property that you normally buy here in Cyprus has 19% VAT on top of the purchase price. But if it's the first property that you're buying and it's a new property, either you build it yourself or with a developer, you can apply for the 5% VAT rule. And that basically means the property is 14% cheaper. That's what I call a discount. And that is also why there is a big market for off-plan buildings in Cyprus. But, the European Union actually doesn't like that Cyprus has this 5% VAT rule, because they think that foreign, super high net worth individuals are the ones benefiting from it. I don't want to go into much detail on that topic, but I'm telling you it's very likely, almost sure, that the 5% VAT rule will be removed very soon in the near future. So if you're interested in building or buying a new property in Cyprus, better hurry up, because very soon the 14% discount will be gone. If you want to have a very good recommendation for a developer in Cyprus that will take care of everything, definitely reach out to me via the video description. Also, with new constructions and developments, you maybe choose the morally better way of investing into Cyprus because you're improving the housing situation in the whole island. There are so many landowners here in Cyprus that refuse to build, or they just don't bother about their plot. That's why you see a lot of unused land here in Cyprus and also a lot of unfinished constructions. But I heard that politicians in Cyprus already discuss a penalty for unfinished constructions, because obviously in cities such as Limassol, Nicosia, Larnaca and Paphos, we need as many properties as possible for the big influx of foreigners. Actually, even the villages around those big cities, such as Polis for example, they increase in popularity so much, because if you go to Polis, you will see the blue lagoon, beautiful nature, a very cute harbor, amazing and relaxed people, and you definitely have to visit Polis if you're in Cyprus. I used to rent a boat there and it was just amazing. I can really imagine myself living there if I want to have an even more relaxed lifestyle. Anyway, as I said earlier, Cyprus has a lot of benefits for investors, and there are also ways to receive your rental income in a very tax-friendly environment, and I have other videos on my channel talking about the tax benefits in Cyprus. Definitely make sure to watch them as well. Workers and labor costs are definitely affordable, especially if you compare it with, let's say, Germany. So renovations are definitely not overpriced here in Cyprus if you buy a property. But I absolutely recommend you to work with professionals and not with the cheapest options, because houses in Cyprus definitely not have an easy time with the hot climate, with the weather change and also with the salt water. So in order to avoid a big mistake, definitely make sure to work with people that know what they are doing and that finish their job on time. Because this is unfortunately not always the case in Cyprus. I also recommend to look into energy efficient homes here in Cyprus because we have so many sunny days, it just makes sense. And there are some very good developers that provide high quality solar panels and other solutions. This video is just about the general overview about investment properties in Cyprus, and now you have to ask yourself the following questions. Do you want to build, buy a new home or buy a resale home? Do you want an apartment, house, villa or even a mansion? What is your business model and what are the goals with the property? Do you want to buy private or with the company? Do you want to buy with cash or with a loan? And how do you want to receive the rental income? All of those are very important questions when it comes to investment properties in Cyprus, and I'm very happy to help you with that, so definitely make sure to reach out to me via the video description and definitely subscribe to the channel, so I will see you in the next video.